All right, so now we're going to swap out the variable rate for the fixed rate bottom plate. The first step you're going to do is go ahead and pull this cotter pin from the chain. Place this somewhere where you won't lose it, around the grass hopefully. Then we're going to take off this plate here because this will need to be flipped around. The pad side needs to touch the hopper for the fixed rate, and the middle side needs to touch for the variable rate. So on both sides here, there's little wing nuts that you just can take off. Careful not to lose the nut. Same with the washer. You take this off. Careful not to lose your washer. And do the exact same thing. And here we go. Just take that off. Try not to drop it. Now you should be able to, let me slide this guy off, not lose this piece. Next part to get this off is you unhinge all these clips. There's 3 on the front and there's 3 more on the back, and that comes off. Easy peasy. You might notice that here came out. We'll get that back in there when we put the new one on. So this is your variable rate bottom. You can see that as you open it up more, you can get a lot more material through these holes. As you can imagine, full open is going to just pour material, like especially granulars like sand versus, something like this, which lime or powdery materials. But then some of the bulkier materials, some of the clunkier materials might need a larger hole to spread through. So your fixed rate has just large opening. This, if you compare the two, even at full open here, you can just tell this is going to drop a lot more material than even the full opening here. Now this is only on and off versus this being every step between off to this size hole. You would want to use the fixed rate when you want to get as much material down as possible, as quick as possible. Some examples might be ice melt on the sidewalk, you really want to pour that ice melt on. With the fixed rate, you don't have the Spyker dowel. Spyker dowel is, a very unique Spyker way to vary the rate at any size you want. You don't really need that with the fixed rate. So to install the rate plate, you do the exact same steps in reverse. Make sure you get these clips out of the way. But basically you slide this up into place. And I'm gonna clip one side here. I'm gonna go to the back side and clip. So now I can just kind of go through and make sure that this is on the outside of the shield. And just lock it in. And, lock all 6 in basically. All 3 on the front, all 3 on the back. Once you get a couple in, it really just lines itself up. If you're using the fixed rate, you want the padded side to hit the bottom of the hopper. That pad's actually going to act as our seal and close off the gate. Get that going. So, feed it on like that. My axle's not in there. There you go. Make sure your wheel bearing is inside of the gate. And you're gonna put this thing on, and this will go on the outside your wheel bearing. And this will slide on. And then we're going to get the hardware started. There we go. Get your wing nut started. We're going to go grab your hardware. We're going to do the same thing on the other side with this piece. Gotta make sure it's on the outside of the wheel bearing. Put your washer on. Put your wing nut on, just loose. And then what we're gonna do is put this guy on one side, come over to the other side, pull it out, slide it on. As I was saying, we're gonna lift, put your bearing into this here. We're gonna make sure the little metal claws are touching the outside, and we're gonna tighten this guy up. There we go. It's pretty good there. Come over to the other side. We're gonna lift up. You might get stuck like this, it's not going in. That's because the agitator is not lined up with the bushing inside here. So you might need to come in here and line up that bushing. And then, boom. Now your wheel bearing will line it into that hole. And then we just tie this little wing nut. Easy peasy. Look at that. The very last step is reconnecting this. So what you're going to do is take this gate. We're going to set this lever to the highest position. This is our off position, will be. And then we're going to bring this up. Pull this through. Pin on variables. You might only get one, you might get 3 links through. And you're going to cotter pin it. Now that will act as open, close. So if you look inside of here, you know, you got your full, well, it's hard to see, but you got the full gate opening on the bottom, and this just blocks the bulky material from coming out. Open, close. Open, close. Open. Yeah, so this would be perfect for dropping ice melt on your sidewalk. If your sidewalk's only 18 inches wide, then you could just fill up one side or the other and not waste a lot of material into your yard. So now we're going to be showing you how to spread with the variable rate bottom. But first, we got to swap the bulk bottom for the variable rate bottom. First thing we do to switch out the bottoms is you unpin the gate. Get the chain off. We're gonna come over here. Yeah, so we do want to take this all the way off, at least one side, because it turns out we don't have enough room. Just need to get this plate off so we can flip it over. Now we're going to unhinge all the clasps on the front. And we're gonna do the same for the clasp on the back. Take the bulk rate bottom off, set it aside. We'll grab our variable rate. The side with the Spyker dial is going to go on the surface opposite of the label, the side that's closer to the handle. So, that is important. Pushing the agitator back in. All right, so flip the unit upside down. There we go. So we're going, get this, we're going to take this lip and tuck it up underneath the hopper's lip. We'll make sure both sides are tucked up in there. And lock it in. Look how easy that was. Super easy. We're going to take our spread plate and we want the metal side, not the foam side. We want the metal side to be on the hopper bottom. And you're gonna want the curved side closer to the handle. You'll want the flat side on your axle. Right now I'm just tying the swing nut up, making sure that this is centered on the bearing. The two little prongs. There we go. You're gonna come over to the other side. We're gonna do the exact same thing. Line up the wheel bearing and just, so I'm gonna make sure that axle, real fast, I'm gonna make sure this axle is in there. It's not. Yeah, see, there's the problem. Line up the axle, line up the wheel bearing. Slide that in, beautiful. And then we just tying this guy up. Beautiful, easy, done. See that through. Pull this up. So now with this in the lowest setting, that plate will push down the grass and let the seed slide down into your soil instead of bouncing and falling out of the hopper. Then you can pull it up to get it out of the way for when you're going over concrete or rocks or whatever.